And good morning. Happy Friday. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Friday thing. And for those of you who don't know, this is the kind of weekly talk show. We just do a little chatting for an hour before I go to work. It takes place during the pre-work coffee hour that normally would happen here on each morning around 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So thank you for being here. I'm trying to do a little more of an intro for YouTube. I hope that isn't entirely cringe. I'll work on it, though. It's one of my goals for this year. First off, congratulations to Lars for becoming the Phantom Menace today for the 35th time. That's a little game we play around here where you try to be first. And when you're first, you get to be the Phantom Menace. We have a little tracker and stuff like that. And I think that will be changed into a game after I put a little more thought into it. I think it will be a game. We'll see, though. And yeah, Bebo, whenever he first gets booted up, he thinks that there's an ad. Negative 4,229 minutes ago. But I think he'll catch up. I think it's just that first one when I go live. But yeah, or you get an ad in the past. I don't know. Let me know if that happened to you. So good morning, Lars the Pan. Good morning, Pirate Eggs. Good morning. This is a really hype soundtrack. Let me turn that down a little bit. Let's see. Who else did I miss here? Code. Good morning, Code. Happy Friday. Ooh. I've already had one full coffee this morning. I'm feeling pretty good. It was actually pretty nice to get in a coffee before because now I actually feel like fairly awake. And I want to feel alert and awake for this show and specifically. But thank you for the roundhouse kick of hydration. It's just using the old timestamps. Yeah, I think it's just that very first boot up. It's like, whoa, hang on, there's an ad coming. But yeah. We have a big question already from Lars. Should I have a portion of stew or a slice of pizza? Given that it's morning for me, afternoon for you, for me, in the morning like this, there's nothing better than a cold piece of pizza in the morning. Oh, it is one of life's simple pleasures and joys, and I enjoy it a lot, as you know, you can see. So that's the problem with me and pizza is like, sorry to turn this into me right away, but the problem with pizza is like it's never like a one-time thing for me. I have to get like a big old extra large and have it on like a Friday night, and then I have to have leftovers for the next day. Otherwise, it's just not doing pizza if there isn't leftovers, and that probably tells you a little bit about me. You know, so the cold pizza is what I personally would pick. However, it is lunchtime. You just needed someone to flip the proverbial switch. Okay, cool. Let's go pizza then. Get a pizza that in my mouth. All right. I love it. Good morning, Blue. How's it going? It's a Friday. It snowed. I saw you got more snow. You're snowed in currently, supposedly getting another 6 inches today. Oof. See, I like snow, I want snow, but when it gets to that degree, when it's just piles upon piles of snow for days, for weeks, yeah. Oh, you gotta say pizza weirdly, so it sounds like a pizza. Get a piece of that in my mouth. Haven't done this in a while. Get a pizza that in my mouth. It's gonna get clipped. So you got 6 inches of snow. 6 inches, that's above average. It is. Some would say too much. Too much snow, I would say. It'll be about a foot in total. Wow, nothing melted all week. We haven't been above freezing yet. That's horrible. Yeah. I'm sick of these unrealistic standards. Me too. Oh, man. Anyway, let me go ahead and clear the old throat here. Maybe it's more nasal than anything else. I need to work on those breathing exercises we talked about, Lars. We'll talk more about that today, actually, as part of the Friday thing. First, we gotta do our ranks. Clumsy's holding on at 39, hasn't been able to hit that 40, but Lars just hit 35. So I'm thinking Lars might be able to overtake Clumsy at this rate. Clumsy had a pretty decent lead for a while. Number 4 is Pirate Eggs at 20. Charles Teaserson still at 13. Lutz McGoots also at 13. We have a tie. Elf at 10. Woodsy at 5. Ursa at 4. And Mrs. Nonder at 3. Mrs. Nonder got on the scoreboard. That's cool. That's so cool. I have a lifted truck for a reason. So listen, okay, I'm in Texas. I see a lot of guys with giant trucks. And nothing to do with them. And they live in like apartments and they don't, they keep these trucks spotless. Now, I'm not going to judge if you guys want to have a fancy truck. I think that's fine. But what I appreciate more is somebody who actually has a need for a pickup truck. Maybe they're hauling stuff around. They're getting it all scratched up and dirty. They're driving in the snow, like a real reason to have that truck. I just know so many guys who are just like, I want a truck. I was like, why? Because I want one. I was like, well, okay. I mean, to each their own, but personally, I won't have a truck unless I had a need for it. So it sounds like you have a need for it, though, with all this snow. We're all compensated. We're all using something to compensate, right? I don't know why cars have to be the thing, though. Couldn't be Lego for me. See my giant Millennium Falcon? I'm not compensating for anything. Anyway, 3% of people who own them actually need or use them. That's probably I bet that's kind of a small percentage. I wonder if it isn't more. It would be so hard to tell because everybody would be like, yeah, of course I use it. Like I put groceries in it. I do, I help friends move, things like that. But like a lot of the guys, like they have a kitted out truck with really fancy tires. They wash it every day. They wax it. They try to keep it clean. They back it into parking spots. And it's like, do you really need that? But there's a lot of stuff in this life that we all enjoy that we don't really need. So I'll try to be less judgmental about it, but mine's definitely not a pavement princess. I like that. At least once a month I'm hauling or towing something. Absolutely. Does that include company work trucks or private? I would say privately owned trucks. I'm just thinking of the like really, the American trucks that are all flash and no substance, I knew a guy in high school. He wasn't in high school, he was an adult, but I worked with him. He was a handyman. I worked with him for maybe 1 or 2 summers. Some of the funnest summers I've ever had too. But he had this truck that he called Old Blue, and it was this beat down truck, but he kept that thing running for years. He might even still have it. I wouldn't be surprised to learn that he's one of those guys that still has that truck. And he, obviously being a handyman, used that truck all the time. Would put anything in the back of it, from like mulch to manure to just anything, because it was so beat up and it was so used and run down that like he didn't care about how it looked, And I gotta say, that's been the one time in my life that I'm like, I can see why it'd be kind of cool to have a truck, to have that hardworking mentality. The problem is, I don't think a lot of people who own the fancy trucks really do that, So the American trucks are starting to make their way to Australia. Yeah. I feel like if your company like gives you a truck for your work, that's probably already good enough, because it's like they obviously thought you needed a truck, The semi-build trucks. What's a semi-build? Do you mean like semi? The Rams are coming to Australia. Dodge Ram. Ford F-150. You're not a man without a Ford F-150. It's that attitude, right? It's not the real men who are out there actually like doing manual labor and hauling stuff and, doing all that kind of stuff. It's not those people I'm talking about at all. Talking about like the high school students who are like, I gotta get a truck, Mom. You have no need for a truck, unless you're going to start doing work. I don't know. Is it too judgmental, do you think? I don't know. Maybe a hot take for me, but I think it's a very certain type of person, and I see it a lot in a place like where we live, which is like a big city. I see a lot of guys. Going into the office back in the day, there would be so many like extended cab, long lifted trucks in a parking lot for an office. And it's like, that's your commute car? That's what you commute in. Like, okay, all right. Again, totally different story if it's all you can afford and it's like a beat down truck that you just it's obvious that you actually work in. Completely different story. I want a 70s square body Chevy as a pavement princess. Oh no, are we having some Chevy Chevy versus Ford? What are the acronyms? Ford is found on road dead. Chevy, I don't remember the Chevy one. There's one for each one. Everybody thinks their trucks are better. Old trucks are baller though, yeah. I think it makes a lot of sense to have the kind of truck where you're actually not going to be afraid of dinging it up a little bit. That makes sense to me. You were that kid in high school. I keep calling you out, Code. I'm sorry. First, it's a cowboy hat. But hey, in high school, were you interested in hauling stuff around and doing manual labor with it? Or helping people with it? I think one of the cool things about having a truck is that you have an ability to help people where you normally wouldn't be. Where like if unfortunately, somebody needs to move, like you are kind of on top of the list. And I think it's kind of cool to be able to help people that way. Ford is fix or repair daily. That's a new one. I haven't heard that one. I was hauling stuff in my little Kia Soul. Let's go. Okay, see, you're never the person I'm talking about. You're never that guy. Never that guy. The amount of vision you don't have in modern trucks should make them illegal. Like the dashboards and stuff all being in the way. All the little doodads and gadgets. Who's getting a Cybertruck? You'll getting a Cybertruck? A 73 Dodge Charger. Hey, Ghost. I didn't say hi, by the way. Hello, Ghost. 73 Dodge Charger is what I want. But then I need to move to Miami as a burned spy and solve people's problems with Bruce Campbell. Burn Notice, baby. Burn Notice. What a great show. Man, I don't know if I ever finished it. I don't think I know how it ends, but what a good show. I love that guy's, I loved his glasses, his little like square sunglasses. I love when they monologue over what they're doing and like explain to you how to do spy stuff. It's so cool. Burn Notice. I wonder if it would hold up if I watched it again. It's been a while. I wonder if it would hold up. Getting your pizza. Welcome back. We're just talking trucks. I should probably get into the topics for today, so we don't get truck overload. And heard Cybertruck. Are you getting a Cybertruck, Lars? Confirmed, Lars is a Cybertruck fan. I immediately said each. Out loud. Oh, my boyfriend's old boss. Hey, Blue. Ordered a Cybertruck like 2 years ago. Yeah, I don't even know what's going on with that yet. I might have already said good morning to you, or I might have missed it. I don't know. But good morning, Blue. I don't know what's going on with that. It's very odd. It's very weird. I wouldn't invest. See, if I was gonna get a truck, it would be a practical truck that you could actually use. The Cybertruck, and it isn't because it's electric. I don't have an issue with electric vehicles. I don't think that they're the end all be all solution to all of our problems because it still uses our grid's electricity. So it's not the end all be all. However, let's see. Let me check what you have there. The trunk of the Cybertruck can easily cut off a finger. What? Can I copy this link? I wish I could just... Well, I'm going to copy this real quick and put this in a different browser. We'll look at it real quick. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. All right, let's see this. Let's see this real quick. Here's some Cybertruck slander for you. Having a day today. Having a day.
Elon Musk's new car, the Cybertruck, showed how the trunk can easily cut off a finger when closing. Using a carrot as an example, the owner showed that safety needs to be worked on.
Ouch. A carrot's... Okay, a carrot...
Musk's new car,
A carrot is definitely not a finger, right? I'm not saying it wouldn't.
Cybertruck
That looks like it would hurt, though.
showed how the trunk can easily cut off.
Ooh. Ooh. That's not a good sign. It definitely would probably, like, hurt things, break things, but... Why am I getting butt on my YouTube? These are just lo-fi beats. I swear. They're just lo-fi beats, see? It's like all I watch on this account. See? And YouTube music. Anyway. Lo-fi butts. I mean, you gotta have some butts in your lo-fi, I guess. Slander. It's a boneless finger. It would still definitely cut your finger and probably fracture some bone. Although I wouldn't try it. I'm not saying it wouldn't cut through, but I have an issue with the idiot who owns Tesla for the most part. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think, like, in general, like, the idea of an electric car, the self-driving type stuff is a great idea. However, I don't think our infrastructure is where it needs to be in order to support mass electric vehicles. Like, I'm on board with it. I think it's a good idea to move away from fossil fuels, but when those fossil fuels are still being burned in our power plants, it seems like we need to solve the overall power issue before we can solve cars and public transport. Yeah. Absolutely. Public transport and more walking cities too. Those aren't automatic though. It requires you to slam it down on your own hand. It looked automatic though. That's weird. It did look automatic. Interesting. So maybe somebody was on the other side. Oh, normal trucks. Normal trucks. Okay. True. If your route is home to office to home, you don't need to own a car. True. And to, like, grocery store. As long as you have a place to obtain food and your social stuff within, like, a decent walking distance, then yeah, definitely. I know if I had all that stuff, I wouldn't own a car. Or maybe I'd own, like, one car. Maybe. Just for, like, the off chance that you'd want to go a little further out. But everything around here where I live requires you to take an interstate, basically, to get, like, even a few miles away. It's like, hop on this interstate. It's like, okay, fine. And that means you also have to worry about commute time, and you have to worry a little bit about traffic, you know, anytime you go somewhere. So somewhere that's close by could easily turn into a big deal if you go around 5 o'clock, you know. The only thing I like about the Cybertruck is the built-in bed cover. I bet you there's going to be a lot of features like that other trucks bring in too, you know. So if it's something you really wanted, that, or even just I know they're doing electric trucks now too. So I think it's too early for us to try to throw this solution of electric vehicles at people, because we haven't solved our actual overall power issues. We need, like, a new, this is going to sound very sci-fi of me, but we need, like, a renewable, sustainable, unlimited power source, like a self-sustaining power source, or we're not going to get any further in our technology. Where we are now is pretty much where we're going to be. Nuclear. Everybody's afraid of nuclear, though. But it'd be something along those lines. Everyone should own a car, at least one car for emergencies, true. If you need to get to a hospital or something. Especially in the US, where an ambulance ride will be probably one of the most expensive things you ever do. They literally put a price on your life of thousands of dollars simply for riding in an ambulance. And if you get to the hospital and it turns out like, oh, it was nothing, you're still paying all of that money. So that's fun. Thank you, Bebo, for the ad in 5 minutes. Thank you for that alert. All right, who did I miss here? Ursa, good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Let's get into the topic for today then. Clumsy, good morning. Perfect timing, everybody. I want to talk to you about something, okay? It's a serious topic. You know how we're doing that 30 days of yoga? For those of you in the Discord, you already know. This is way too hype of a soundtrack for this. I'm a monster, rawr. Hang on, can I get like a... hang on. Can I get a nice chill? There we go, that's better. Yeah, for this announcement, that was way too hype. I did. Hey, Ursa, thank you so much for 5 months. That is the new sub sound. Is my kid saying, I'm a monster, rawr. And ever since I had him record that, he goes around the house still saying it. It's adorable. It's adorable. I think that means we have officially cleared any and all of the nerf herders. I think it's all gone. It's all gone. I might still add, Clumsy made me a little icon for the server a while back of a nerf. I might add that as an emote, if that's cool with you, Clumsy. Just as like a part of the legacy, you know? I still have that somewhere, I think. Anyway, so for those of you in the Discord who might have seen, I failed. I failed the 30 days of yoga. My plan was to do 30 consecutive days of yoga. And I failed. I failed you all. In all seriousness though, I did fail, and it feels a little rough. I thought that by putting this out there into the world, it would help me like keep myself accountable. And it has. It has helped me stay accountable. However, what it hasn't helped me do is just forget, or remember, I guess I should say. Omina, good afternoon. How you doing? Clumsy's on a 7-stream streak. Enjoy the 450 nonsense. Nonster herders. The mug isn't blue. It might just be the light. I got a lot of blue going on in here. Did it look blue down here, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. It's still the Loots mug, unless it's just that dirty. I hope not. The pen is blue. This pen? Anyway. Yeah, so I failed. Saturday morning, we had our Lego stream, which was great fun. You should join us on Saturday mornings for the Lego stream, if you're not already. Had the Lego stream, and I just forgot. It wasn't even that I like remembered in the evening. Like I have a couple of times I remembered like at 8 o'clock at night, oh, I didn't do it. And that makes me mad. And so I do it, but at least I remembered it. In this instance, I completely forgot about it until Sunday at like, I don't know, noon, maybe sometime noon. And then it hit me, oh, I didn't do it yesterday. And I immediately felt this wave of like, ugh. I was like 13 days in, and that's right where I hit the wall. And it wasn't even that I remembered and then went, I don't want to do it, and didn't do it. It's that I just completely forgot. And that's the part that I kind of want to talk through with you all today. One, there's an easy solution. I'm going to set a reminder on my phone so that I don't forget. The problem is doing it during the weekend. Doing it on the weekend is the hardest part because get my reminder app going here. It's doing it during the weekend because during the week, what I've been doing is after stream here, I'll go over to Loots, I'll boot up my work computer, I'll get on the work computer and check emails, make sure the world isn't on fire, and then I'll do the, anywhere between 20 to 30 minute yoga session that we have that day. And that's perfect. I get back on before anyone even notices. I have a team call at 9, so I'm like usually back to my desk way before that happens. So easy to remember to do it because it just makes sense for it to be in that part of my day. So then Saturday comes along and I do the stream, and I'm all hyped from that stream. The Saturday Lego streams have been so good lately. I'm very happy with how they've been going. Very, very happy. And so when I was on a high, we went to the store afterwards, kind of got out of the house a little bit that afternoon, came back, and I think my mother-in-law came over that day too. So she stayed around with us and we played outside with Zeke. We went to a restaurant with her. We did a lot of stuff, you know? And so it just didn't even register with me at all. So I'm going to add yoga right now. We're going to add it for 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Like, can I just do it for every day? Repeat. There we go. 8 p.m. Repeat daily. We're going to repeat it daily. So I'm setting it for 8 p.m. so that if something happened throughout the day and I forgot, before I even think about going to bed, it's gonna remind me. Okay, done. There it is. Making sure that there's nothing to dox me there. 8 p.m. Yeah, that's really hard to see. Okay, so that's done, right? I'm gonna remember. But like, I was so upset with myself, and I let myself slip a little bit because then I also skipped Sunday. Because I was so I was like kind of mad at myself for forgetting, honestly. And that I broke the challenge not on purpose, which I shouldn't be so hard on myself because it wasn't on purpose. You know, like Blue says, don't beat yourself up too much. Missing one day isn't too bad. I missed 2. The second one was totally my fault. The Sunday, not doing it on Sunday was a self-pity move. And I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of that at all. And I'm going to work on that. There has to be a good psychologist question hidden here. Like, why do you feel so strongly about missing 2 days out of 30? One, it's because I set it up as a challenge to do 30 consecutive days, right? I have, and the fact that it wasn't even that I didn't want to do it that day. It was that I forgot. And I think that triggers something in me. I am very terrified of memory issues. One of my grandparents had dementia. I don't think she had Alzheimer's, but dementia. And that terrified me as a kid to see somebody towards the end of their life forgetting who they were. Like, ooh, that kills me. So I think maybe I reacted a little bit out of fear, like, oh no, I'm forgetting things. Even though when I just explained to you what was going on that day, it's 100% reasonable to assume that like you might forget some things. Yeah, humans forget things. I think I'm just overly sensitive to it because I'm just paranoid that like I'm gonna forget something, you know? So missing the weekend, I agree, isn't bad. In fact, once this challenge kind of ends, I plan on doing it on work days. I plan on doing kind of what I'm doing now, where I end stream, I do a little bit of work, I do the yoga, I come back to work. I'm planning on doing that. And then just being like, the weekends can be whatever at that point. It's fine. Your brain is a ball of meat jelly that runs on electricity. What did you expect? Yeah. I use the reminders app on my phone literally every day. I need to get better at using the reminders app because it has also been helpful to me. It is also helpful. There's also, you know, not to blame it, but there is also ADHD going on in there. I am like 99% sure that I have ADHD. I have not had an official diagnosis, but everything I've learned about that recently has confirmed that I've been this way my whole life. You know, it's a little bit different once you get a little bit older. You start to notice it more, I think, especially the forgetting things. And yeah, maybe, I don't know. Hopefully I can do something in case dementia runs in my family. But, you know, yeah. I don't know if I want to I'd be okay getting diagnosed. I don't know if I want to take medicine for it. Hey, Zombie. Good morning. Hello, chat. So convince me. Like how will the diagnosis help me? I don't think I want to get medicated. I don't think. But then again, I've never lived any other experience other than what I currently have in my mind. And this is just a small example. Like, this isn't a life-changing, life-altering thing. But there are some times where I feel, it's mostly that I just feel bad. Like, Mrs. Nonder will tell me something, and then like a week will go by, and then I'll tell her something, and she'll be like, I told you that like a week ago. And it more than anything else just makes me feel bad. It isn't that like, it's a huge strain on my life, but it does make me feel like really bad. It makes me feel like people think I don't pay attention. And it's just, I pay attention in the moment, but it's something about the way that my mind like files things away as important versus not important, which sounds really bad to say, but it's not on purpose. It just happens, I have ADHD, so it's really different when you age. I think that's true. I think it just gets more, well, one, you're doing more and more things as you age that are important, right? That really are like, you got to remember X and Y. But yeah. They won't test you for ADHD unless you're a child in school or working. That seems odd. In Finland, people do get tested for things even when they're over school age. I would hope so. Good morning, Peachy. Hi. N0 Enders. That's my TTS name. There's other help than medication, like behavior therapy. Yeah. Kind of helped me personally accept the fact that I need to give myself extra space and leeways. I think that could probably be helpful. Also permit me to help me find accessible options for myself. Yeah. Yeah, some of that, Omina, could just be these are normal things. Like, we got a lot of stuff, we got a lot of stuff going on. So I could be worried about nothing, really, at the end of the day. I think I've found ways in my life to, like, cope with it. But I think when I started thinking about wanting to be better, wanting to, like, really dial myself in, that's where my ADHD really shows up. Because my sticking power is pretty light, Oof, I get that. One time I asked someone if they went to a restaurant before. They told me that they went there with me before. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. What was a more recent example? Oh, somebody like in a show. And I was like, hey, do you know who this person is? And she looked at me. And this is not to discredit her. She's like, yeah, I know, because I told you that like last week. I don't know. Your data's refusing to run 480p, so I'm here at 360. How do I look in 360? 360 no scopes. Well, at least you can still listen, right? My memory has gotten worse because of my medication. Yeah. Yeah, so it isn't even just forgetting things. That's part of it. It's more like attention span and ability to concentrate, especially in the afternoons. Any of you with ADHD, do you hit walls at like 2 p.m.? There's a reason I stream in the morning like this. I feel so energetic in the morning. From like this time to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I feel energetic. I feel productive. I feel I have that like desire to like do things. And then once 2 o'clock hits, I can spiral a little bit. And meds do help for that. I can kind of get into a 2 p.m. rut where I don't want to do anything. My brain dies at like 3. Yeah. From like 2 to 5. And then once I get off of work, it's like I do feel fairly exhausted, but like I do kind of perk up a little bit in the evenings. But then by the time I perk up and I'm kind of like, hey, cool, I could do things, I'm like, well, it's 9 o'clock. So I should probably go to bed because I love sleeping. That's what my psychiatrist told me. That's why I can't get tested. I'm not working because of what I think is ADHD, and I can't get tested because I'm not working. Kind of killed me inside, to be honest. I can't get the help I need because I'm not struggling enough for you. Yeah, that's a shame. Are you in the U.S., Blue, if you don't mind my asking? Just curious. My daughter's been noticing some things at her schoolwork that might be some kind of ADHD, and studies show that girls can have a bit different symptoms. I think ADHD is so much more common than we think, but like a lot of things, it's a spectrum. So some people are on a different side of the spectrum than other people. But yeah, like there's some things I'll see people talk about their ADHD, and I'm like, I don't really experience that too much. But it's just because I'm at a different stage. Nobody experiences it exactly the same. I'm hyper in the morning and at night. I don't think I feel hyper. I just feel normal. I feel normal in the mornings. Maybe it's because there's like so much good dopamine hitting me in the mornings, that it's easier for me to put in the effort, you know. My pain med refreshes my brain, which isn't nice at 10 p.m. Can you like switch the schedule, like to take it in the morning or something, if your doctor thinks it's okay? What sucks is that it can present differently in females, so it's difficult to get someone to seriously diagnose you, which I have a friend that's been going through that right now. You're in US Midwest. Okay. Yeah, I had a feeling. It still seems like you should be able to get some kind of help with that, but I don't know. Have you considered that you're just making it all up? For legal reasons, this is a joke. Yeah, have you thought about that? Have you thought about how it's probably just TikTok who's teaching you that you have ADHD and autism? That's a classic thing I hear. And to be fair, I've learned a lot from TikTok about ADHD. I wouldn't have thought, you know, my thought about ADHD before TikTok was that it was, I focused on the hyperactivity. I'm like, I'm not a hyper person. Never been a hyper kid. Like, I'm imagining a kid running around just screaming and yelling and running back and forth as like, oh, I've never been that way. And I've learned from places like TikTok that that's not the whole thing. You know, the hyperactivity is your brain, not your body. And when we talk about the brain, my brain's going 20, like, I have 16 different thoughts going on in my head right now. And in the mornings, I'm able to kind of push those aside and like swim through all the thoughts and get to like what I need to talk about or what I need to do. But in the afternoons, my brain just gives up and it's like, nope, we're not doing that anymore. So yeah, as much as I need to spend less time on TikTok, and I'm working on that, it's actually part of this year's goals. It is a valuable tool to teach you about people's experiences. You know, we're talking a little bit about ADHD. I also don't want to blame everything on ADHD, right? It's an explanation, but it does not necessarily relieve me of the, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't relieve me of the responsibility of having to take actions to help remediate. Remediate, is that the word? To help those things happen less. Like using the Notes app, you know, using reminders, things like that, by the way. Look at this kid. This kid in his Spider-Man. That's his Spider-Man outfit. Can't see, he's doing like this with his fingers, like this. Oh yeah, I slammed my hand on something the other day and I scabbed it up. Anyway, it is actually listed as a disability. I think it can be. I think, again, depending on what side of the spectrum you're on, it can go anywhere from being a minor inconvenience to really life altering, you know. Push those murderous thoughts away. Wait. I'm like that. I have been since, as far as I can remember, several pages open in my browser. That's so true. And I still think of it as a filing system. When I think about remembering something, there are certain things that I can recall so easily, but then I'll forget like a word, like remediation. I'll just forget in the moment. My brain is just searching through these filing cabinets. What's that word I'm thinking of? It's in here somewhere. I know it is. And then I'll get stun locked on like trying to think of the one word. That happens a lot on stream, especially thinking about different words. Morning. Good morning, Ams. Sitting on my heating pad again for my back. This is getting annoying. Oof. Is that a pain that keeps coming back? Well, see, there's a word I can't remember. You know what I mean. Is it chronic? See, I got it. My brain found the file folder, pulled it out and said, chronic, that's what you're trying to think of, chronic, and it put it back. And now I'll forget it again. Anyway, society pushes people to all be on the same, all the same, and spectrums are just swooshed away to hide under the carpet. Absolutely. That's why, like, when you tell some people, like, oh, I might have ADHD, their brain will bring up, especially in the US, this seems to be the case. The brain will bring up, like, you're not hyperactive. I don't see you fidgeting all the time. And I don't fidget all the time, but I do sometimes. And they just, education. It's education. It's all education. It's all our education system is horrible. And we just don't get told things. Because if you don't tell people things and they don't learn it, then they can't use it against the system. You know? ADHD will take down the system. Let's go. Power to the ADHD. ADHD was flavor of the month in the 90s. Now it's like, are you sure? Are you sure about that? Are you sure? Good morning, Bogan. Good afternoon to you. Or is it afternoon or night? Actually, good night to you. Yeah, it's late for you. You're busy playing Pal World Red. Pal World's good, huh? Well, I have one other thing I want to talk about, but I guess I'll do a little announcement right now. Monday, January 22nd, we're going to start our journey because the timing feels nothing but, there's another word I can't find. The timing feels good. We will be playing Pal World starting Monday, January 22nd, 2024. I have a good feeling about this game. It is early access, so we're going to grain of salt it, but I have a good feeling that this game could become a year-defining game for the stream. I'm very excited for it. You're hoping they don't walk away from it. As a developer, have they done that in the past? I'm not too familiar with the developer yet. But it seems to be a really good mix of base creation, inventory management, and some people, I was watching some videos the other day about it, and some people are saying like has some Satisfactory type elements. If you guys haven't played Satisfactory, you're just making big factories and automating a lot of stuff. They made Craftopia, which I really enjoyed. Okay. So, yeah, that is going to be happening on Monday, the 22nd. I also have a backup game, okay? I have a game that I would like to play this year. Actually, it's a series of games that I'd like to play this year. I might go ahead and just tell you what it is right now. Because if for some reason we play Pal World, it doesn't work out, it doesn't keep my attention, it doesn't run well. That could also be, it's an early access and we have to kind of walk away from it. I do have another series of games that I really want to play on stream, and I haven't played in a long time and also haven't finished. And it's Gollum, isn't it? Dang it, you've guessed it. Watching Spooky play Gollum last night was so much fun. I wish I could have stayed longer, but no, it is an older series of games from LucasArts. Do you all remember LucasArts? Called Monkey Island. Anybody familiar with Monkey Island? It first was in the 90s. The first one was called The Secret of Monkey Island. That one was in the 90s. I actually want to ask your opinion on something. They did a remake of it in the late 2000s, I think. It's called The Secret of Monkey Island Special Edition. That's the one I was thinking about playing, was the Special Edition. But do you guys think there would be any interest in me playing like the original, like the OG? You prefer the remakes? Okay. I do like voice acting in my games. Sometimes I enjoy reading, but it can get a little daunting sometimes when I can't read words in the right order. I know I have played the special edition when it came out. I didn't finish it. I was like, oh, cool, I love Monkey Island. So I went into it. I played a little bit, never finished it. And I think I never finished these games as a kid because I wasn't very good at them as a kid. So I'm kind of interested in going back. I love them. Like, I know so much about the games, but I think the only one I ever really finished was Monkey Island 2 because I remember how that one works. So I'm not going to remember all the puzzles and all the solutions right off the gate because it's been a very long time since I played them. But I love the humor. I love point and click. I just love it. So that's going to be kind of this is the game we're going to kind of come back to if something else falls out. It feels good to have a backup game because I get paranoid about like either finishing a game midweek or something happening and I have to stop and then I get all stun locked. Like, what am I going to play? What am I going to do? So it feels very good to have that as like, this is definitely something we're going to play this year. But the more I looked at Palworld, the more I felt, I think I need to jump on that right now. It doesn't seem like the type of game that many people are going to be concerned about spoilers because it's a very open world, open activity type of game. And I'll play it differently than most people will play it. So I'm seeing a lot of votes for the remake. So we'll do the remake then. That's what I have. I already had it purchased, already had it installed, ready to go. So if something happens with Palworld, we'll jump into Monkey Island. Love Monkey Island. I love Guybrush Threepwood. It's so good. I'm a big fan of the old LucasArts point and clicks. I was a little young. Like, there was a lot of times I felt like it was too hard for me as a kid. Probably some of that ADHD coming up. But just the style, the music, the humor was always something I loved. And I've wanted to replay them and I've forgotten about them for so long. So I'm glad to be getting back onto that. So kiddo goes to her dad's every other weekend. And even that, she's 14. Oh, you got a 14-year-old. It's nice to have a weekend where I don't have to worry about food or laundry. That sounds like a good setup, right? So Am says, I didn't think I would like that game, but I watched somebody play it, and it was so cute. It looks very cute, and then also, like, you can give them guns. So it's like a Pokemon-inspired looting and crafting, open world survival. There's some gacha elements in it too, from what I hear. But yeah, to me, it's just, I started watching a before you buy video on it and stuff, and I started noticing like, ooh, this kind of fits. There's some like Zelda stuff in there. There might be some puzzles. I'm not sure. There is some like Breath of the Wild style inspired stuff, like a glider. And the art style seemed pretty great. It just seemed like it was gonna fit with, I don't know, for lack of a better word, the vibe of this channel, of what we do here. And I can kind of hang out at base and pause things and talk with you and talk it through. And then when we want to get a little bit sweaty, there's boss fights too. So, but I think that'll be I'll work up to that for sure. It just seemed like such a great time. It comes out today, so you might see a lot of people playing it today. So it comes out at a perfect time for me to jump on Monday. Let everybody kind of have the weekend to jump into it if they want to and get ahead of me. Everyone's going to be ahead of me anyway because I'm only going to play like an hour a day. So yeah. Now listen, I'm not against puzzle games entirely. I just I'm not good at them. But that leads to a lot of good content, so I'm okay with that. I gotta take my puzzle games in stride. One of these days we'll probably also play Figment 2 since we played the first one. It's not a full-on puzzle game. I'm not gonna play like Myth or anything like that. I think that might be too puzzly for me. So I need to take that in stride. But yeah, I'm very excited for it. Ever since I decided that's what we're gonna do, I've been like really excited for Monday to get started on that. So I hope you'll join me Monday, 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Same time, same place, same channel. Last thing I want to talk about today. Yeah, there is a sequel to Figment 2. I don't know. I mean, there's a Figment 2. I don't know if it's a direct sequel. Lars can probably tell us that if they want. But yeah, there is a Figment 2. I don't know if it like picks up the story or anything, or if it's about somebody different. Could be. Figment 2 is a sequel, but I haven't played it. Ooh, see, that'd be even rougher for me then. I wouldn't have you to rely on. But yeah, that's sort of on the list too. I feel like it was a very short game. So if I ever need like a nice, like I've got 4 days I need to fill in or something like that, that would be a good one to come back to as well. So last thing I want to talk about before I let you all go this morning, we got 10 minutes left ish, 10 minutes ish. So we talked a little bit about failure, a little bit about how I feel about that. But I also want to talk about the overall challenge for this year, the year of self-improvement. We're still going. I'm still going strong. Last week I told you a little bit about how I want to make like each month into sort of a challenge of sorts. I want to pick one thing, just one thing for that month that I focus on. And then whatever I focus on, I want to find a way to incorporate what I've learned through that month into like my daily schedule, right? So for example, yoga. I'm doing yoga here in January, but when I'm done with January, I think I'm going to incorporate, like, I'm not going to do an everyday yoga thing in going forward, but I think what I am going to do is find like a really quick 10 to 15 minute yoga flow kind of thing, like a morning routine. And I'll do what I'm doing now, where like before work, I'll go down here. There's my mat, by the way. I need a new mat. I should invest in a new mat, but I'll go down here and I'll do that before work, because that has really kind of helped me differentiate my time between stream and work, because I can basically hit a couple of buttons and be working right after stream. So I like to have that time to pull away. So I'm going to do something for 30 days or for the month, and then I'm going to find a way to incorporate that into my actual like day to day, so that I'm kind of stacking these good habits on top of each other. That's my plan anyway. So with that, I want to tell you about a couple of things I'm going to be doing in the coming months. Okay. So we got the month of the yogi. I'm playing around with these titles, and I want your help in deciding these titles. So I thought about doing month of the, and then, putting something in there. And then I also thought of alternative titles that I thought were pretty funny. It has been quick. It's felt like only a couple minutes, but we're already almost an hour in. So I want your help here. There's a couple of months that I don't have anything for, and I need your help, like helping me decide what I need to put in. My big yearly goals, right? I'm going to remind you of those right now, so that you can see how they fit in with the monthly goals. So we got our big yearly goals of like mental health, taking that more seriously. The therapy thing we talked about already, going to the dentist, that's on the list. My diet, my exercise, my kind of daily movement routine, the self-care, skincare, that kind of stuff. I need to take care of this face. Reading, I need to read. I need to cut back on social media. I'm trying to work on my confidence and presentation on stream, but also in real life. And then I'm going to add any kind of goals throughout the year that makes sense. So keeping those wider goals in mind, here's what I got. Okay. Clumsy loves skincare. I need tips. I need some tips. So the month of the yogi, that's what we're in right now. March is going to be Kegels. Maybe, I don't know. Could I benefit from that? Let me try. Yeah, feels good. January is the month of the yogi, or alternatively, and he poops. Alternatively, an alternative title for January is Yoga Yanuary. So month of the yogi, or Yoga Yanuary. Already halfway through, more than halfway through January. But I cracked myself up at that title. So keeping in mind, we'll do something for like a month. We'll kind of put a focus on something, but then I'm going to take one of those things into the coming months, There's already skincare with beard tips in Discord. I did see that. Thank you. By us, without a beard. So Yoga Yanuary is kind of the unofficial title for January. February, I wanna work on reading. I want to work on reading more. I'm going to start here pretty soon putting together a list of books I want to read. I already have one. It's this one that was recommended to us. about talking to kids. I think it'd be very good for me to read some like parenting style books, but I also want to have a book that I can read for fun, which needs to be Clumsy knows. It needs to be the High Republic. So I got to pick up that book again. I might just buy it. I kind of don't like to have physical books around, but I also like to read physical books. And I got it from the library a while back and never read it. So I'm going to be putting a focus on reading in February, which is why I'm calling it either the month of the book or Febbooktuary. You choose which title you like more. Febbooktuary. So again, putting time in every single day to read a book. And then after that, trying to make sure that like reading becomes part of my habits, right? Maybe not every day, but like part of my habit. You like Febbooktuary? Yeah. There we go. I like that one too. This next one's very funny to me. So in March, I figured perfect time to start kind of getting in some more movement, right? So in March, we'll be doing 10,000 daily steps. So we'll be doing like a movement challenge there. That one's going to be, I've done it before, but it'll be interesting to get those in. And that is called Month of the March because we're marching, right? An alternative title for that requires me to tell you a little story of back in my college days. So in my college days, don't hit me with that yet. You haven't heard the alternative title. In my college days, I thought I was starting to gain a little bit of weight. College is really where my weight kind of started becoming obvious to me. And I was like, ooh, I need to work on something. There was one time in particular where I heard someone asked about, somebody was talking about me, and I don't remember how I heard it. I think I heard it third hand. Somebody was talking about me, and somebody asked, oh, who's this guy? My name's Aaron, by the way. Hi. So like, who's Aaron? Who's that guy? And they described me as, oh, that slightly chubby guy from room 5. And that was the first time I think somebody outside of myself had acknowledged that I put on a few pounds. And I got, oof, just found your place of work for my first name. Oh, thank you, Ams. Ron, I done messed up. I really did. So yeah. So anyway, in college, I decided, all right, well, they didn't have a gym, which is weird to me, but there was a lot of things weird about that college. So I was like, you know what? All I got to do is I got to just become a runner. I'm just going to become a runner. I'm just going to get out there. I had never tried to be a runner in my life. So I'm just going to get out there and I'm going to run. And so I started running and jogging around the campus. And within the first day, I noticed a pain in like the arch of my foot. And I pushed through it. I was like, yeah, it's just probably because I'm, not used to using that muscle. And it turns out I hurt it a lot after that. I hurt it quite a bit. I tore my, what is that muscle in the middle of your arch? Gosh, there's a name for it, but I don't remember. But I tore that, and it put me on my butt for like a month to heal. It was pretty bad. And to this day, if I push myself too hard without doing stretches, without being properly warmed up, and especially without having worked out in a long time, if I try to like run, that arch will hurt again. And it's probably because I didn't go see a doctor because I was a college student and thought I was invincible, and that my body would just magically heal itself. But had I seen a doctor, maybe I could have figured it out. But if I push myself a little too hard sometimes and too quickly, my arch can hurt. So I thought about an alternative title for March being My Arch Hurts, as in like, March like this. My arch hurts. My arch, exactly. I was cackling at myself when I was writing that down. I thought that was pretty funny. So it's the month of the March, or alternatively March Hurts. It doesn't so much anymore. Again, if I can do 10,000 steps a day without it being too bad. But if I try to go from like nothing to just straight up running, that will be bad. So I want to kind of do, again, I want to just do something for movement in March. March is kind of when it's still going to be pretty cold here, but hopefully shouldn't be negative temperatures. So right before spring kind of hits, it'll be nice to kind of start getting myself up out of my chair and doing something. So I'm excited for that one too. Cold. It does get cold here sometimes. So then April. April is month of the ADA, or the American Dental Association. That is the month where I'm gonna go to the dentist for my birthday. Not on my birthday, but like by the time my birthday is here, I will either have already been to the dentist or I will go to the dentist. Does that make sense? That's like I have to put a line in the sand for doing it, because otherwise I will just put it off. So by April, I will have been to the dentist. And it'll be very, I'm a little worried about it. I'm more like embarrassed by it than anything else. Like I'm gonna have to tell a brand new dentist that I don't know, because I don't have one, that like I haven't been to the dentist in about a decade. And that I'm sorry for what they're about to have to do. Happy birthday. Give us all your money. Yeah. Happy birthday. You have 9 cavities. That's probably about how it will go. Now, the thing is, last time I did go, I had like a pain in this tooth and I had it filled and whatnot. The dentist actually told me, like, you have really good teeth. You just need to take care of them. And that was when I was in college. Yeah, I was in college the last time. No, it was after college. No. It was after college. It was when, but not long after college. So anyway. So yeah, that is just my line in the sand. My line in the sand is I will have to have gone to the dentist by my birthday, or at least have it scheduled sometime in April. If I don't put that as an actual line in the sand deadline, I won't do it. So I want to do that, you know. We got good news and bad news. The good news is you don't need any fillings. The bad news is you need all new teeth. I don't think that I need new teeth, but I definitely need a cleaning. And there's a big confidence issue that I think once I do that, I'm going to feel so much more confident, especially in the way that I speak and present myself. I think it's going to be good. I know, like, once I do it, it'll be uncomfortable. But once I push through and actually do it, it's going to be a good thing that I did it, you know. Dentists don't judge. I've seen some man, and I know that there's people with worse teeth than me. I know people worse off than me. So like, I know that. I gotta just do it. I gotta be an adult about this and just do it, you know. May is gonna be the month of the mind, which is meditation mostly. I'm gonna use a meditation app and try to do some like daily meditation. I've done meditation in the past, but obviously with ADHD, it can be kind of hard to like slow my mind down. But every time I've done it, I've enjoyed it. It's just a matter of like trying to slow my mind down and embrace the whole thing. I use Headspace. I love the Headspace app. It's one of my favorite apps. I don't think we'll get sponsored by Headspace, but that'd be kind of, I wonder if I could for like the month of May. Thank you, Byron Eggs. It's called Meditation is the month of the mind. Meditation. Thank you. That was already on my list. Meditation. So yeah, we'll do meditation. We'll do kind of like mindfulness, we'll call it. One of the things I've noticed, and I actually had an epiphany while I was doing yoga the other day, is like, I don't pay attention to my body. And it hit me, and that may even sound weird to you, but that really hit me, going through yoga, where she was talking about like placing my body in a certain way. And I was just like, or she's like, notice this about what we're doing right now. And I was like, I don't think I've ever really thought about my body that way. It's weird. It's really hard to explain, but it felt like a little bit of an epiphany to me. So I'm hoping some more mindfulness can kind of help me bring attention to myself, you know? Okay, so where I get stuck now is June and July. I got nothing. Now, the problem is I was trying to come up with these puns So for June and July, I'm kind of lost. So I'm okay with it now because it's a ways away. Maybe we'll need to put some thought into it. But if there's something that you've heard from my big yearly goals that you think could fit in well in June and July, or something you want me to try, please let me know. Look, at the end of the day, we don't have to come up with a funny little title for it in order for it to work. It'd be nice if it was something that at least started with a J to kind of keep with this. But I'm at a loss for June and July. I'm kind of at a loss. So I don't know what June and July are going to bring. I thought about August becoming the month of the gust of breath, or a gust of breath. That would look like this. A gust of breath. And that's where I thought maybe we could try some breathing exercises. I know Lars told me that I might benefit from that, so I might look into that. June something new. Like doing something new? June? Something new. So yeah, I think we need to be a little more specific. I could also repeat some things, some things could be repeated. This is a whole year. So like we could repeat some things during June and July. Kind of works. It's almost there. That was a bad idea. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing like some breath work in August. September's easy. It's the month of the swole, or Swoletember. Easy. I've done like weightlifting stuff before, so I think I kind of want to get back on that train around September. Not to necessarily like get buff or anything, but I'm kind of curious at like having a focus like that for a whole month. If I could get myself back into the habit of doing it at least during the week, or at least having like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday workout, Why did I hear breast work? Breath work. Breath work. Actually I had a back when I worked at a place called Hastings, which was a books, movies, and electronics, or like game store. And there was this girl there, and we hit it off. Like we were like super close, but we were definitely like friendly with each other, and she was pretty cool. And we joked about being friends, like, oh, hey, yeah, we're friends. That's cool, And I said, and it's a slip of the tongue, I said, you're my breast friend. And I froze immediately. And luckily, she thought it was funny, because I did not mean to say that. I did not mean to say that. You should have seen me blush. It was a legitimate slip. I didn't mean to say it. I just froze, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And she laughed at it, though, thankfully. So, crisis averted. And then I avoided her ever since then. So yeah, month of the Swoletember. Month of October, I also have nothing. So if you guys have any ideas for October, I thought of a funny title. Could be something like this: Noctober. It's kind of a stretch, but I don't have anything specific for that, so I need to think about something for that as well. Okay. November. I hope my clearing of my nasal passage there didn't just get into the mic, but November, I'm leaning towards this. November could work. I'm leaning towards this, but I don't know. As those of you who know what's going on here in the States, it is 2024, which means it's an election year. And oh boy, I'm trying to think of how to say this. I am not looking forward to this election season at all. It's brutal. It's brutal out there. So a part of me wants to use November to go no social media. No Discord, or sorry, not Discord. Discord for sure. No TikTok, no Twitch. No, gosh, why do I keep saying Twitch? No TikTok, no Twitter. Nothing like that. I'll still do Discord and Twitch because I can't give those up. But part of me kind of wants to do that, but another part of me is like, this is a really, no Twitch November. You won't see me at all. I'm going to go dark for all of November. But it just, a part of me also feels like I should be talking about the election and I should be informed because it's a pretty important election. We're about to go down one of the craziest times in history here. We've done that several times in the last couple years. But I feel so strongly that Trump should not become president. And I understand people not liking Biden. I'm not a particular yay Biden supporter. There's a lot of stuff he does I don't agree with. But I think it's so incredibly dangerous to have a man who led an insurrection of a very poor insurrection that didn't work. It's just so incredibly unnerving to see the people who are already starting to fall in line again. It's the same thing I saw in 2015, 2016. People being like, we don't like him. We don't like Trump. We want somebody else. And then they vote for him in the general, and then he gets the nomination. And then as soon as he gets the nomination, people just fall in line and say, I'm supporting him. So a part of me wants to pull myself away, but also I feel like maybe I need to talk about it. Maybe I need to talk. I don't know who I need to convince. I don't think I'm going to convince anybody. I'll probably just be shouting into an echo chamber. But I thought about doing no social media. Maybe I need to move that to a different month. I could do that. It just started with an N, so November, kind of made sense. Wait, about what? Oh, about the election coming up, and it'll happen in November, so that'll probably be the peak of our election. I'm just flabbergasted. I think that I don't know. So I don't know if November's the best time to take off social media because I want to be in that conversation because I think it's important. But also it's going to be a train wreck. We should talk about it. I feel my emotional state tanked after that election because I didn't feel like I could talk to anyone. Absolutely. Yeah, I remember that night when it happened, and Mrs. Nonder especially was just distraught, and I was too. But I also had the idea that it'll be okay. We have things in place that are going to keep him from going too wild. But I really truly think it was one of the most damaging things that can happen to this country when he got elected. The most damaging thing that has happened to my personal relationships in my life ever, in my entire life. Never thought it would be this way. Relationships with people completely ruined simply because I wouldn't fall in line with what they wanted. Me being called names either directly or passive aggressively indirectly, which is typically how they like to do it. And it's just never been the same. It's never been the same ever since then. And it has created such a divide in our country that I'm worried we haven't fully gotten over it and we're going to repeat the mistake again. It's going to happen again. I really, truly am actually worried that it's going to happen again. Maybe I'm worried for nothing, but I think it's important for us to be on alert for it because I think we underestimated him last time. Yeah, it's wild. So I don't know. Maybe November isn't the best time to go no social media. We could move that. And we can move that. Maybe June and July. Maybe sometime in June and July. I feel like that's going to be a pretty easy one. I'm going to actually delete the Twitter app from my phone for that month. And probably just delete TikTok too. I might still allow Ashley to show me TikToks. Would that be okay? That'd probably be okay. That's one of our love languages, is sharing TikToks. So if she can still have that ability to, unless she wants to do it with me, if she can still have that ability to do that, it would be great. But yeah, that's the plan. I don't know. We'll see. And then December, what I want to do in December is actually, I want to call it the Decemberation, or the celebration month of the Decemberation, where we're just going to look back at everything that we've done. And I am hoping that some of you are going to come along with some of this with me too. So don't think of this just as my own personal. If you want to join with me at any point, I would love that. But I want to use December to kind of celebrate the fact that it's been a whole year of doing some of the self-improvement. I'm really hoping that we'll be able to look back at it and be like, okay, cool. Like I made some progress. This is where I was before. Reviewing some of these videos before and then reviewing some of the videos afterwards. I want to just see that difference because I think that's going to be really good for me to see how that all plays out, you know. Yeah, a lot of my friends just buried their heads in the sand. I felt so alone in my outrage. Me too. Yeah. A lot of people I thought were good, decent people who were my friends turned out to not be, you know? I think it's going to be brutal this year. Sorry, not to bring it back to that, but yeah. Do it yourself, Timber. Do it yourself. I'm not going to help you. But yeah, I want to look back at everything that we've all accomplished during that year. So we'll take like the Friday shows to kind of look back at each month. Like, what did we learn about the month of the yogi or the yoga January? What we learn about reading? Did that help? Am I still reading at this point, or did I give up? You know, it'll just be cool to like take essentially the entire month to just kind of first off relax, like take all the pressure off of like having to do a monthly challenge, and then really start to think back to what happened during the year and if it helped at all. And I hope it will. That's it. That's it for me, I think. That's all I got. Anybody else have anything they want to bring up? If you have ideas, here's the months that we need. We need June and July. We need October and probably something for November, because now after talking about it, I think I am leaning towards not doing the social media in November. Maybe June or July, that fits, but I need a good pun. I need a good pun for that, right? Gotta have a good pun. Got to. Thank you for the stream. You're such a bright part of my mornings. Thank you so much for being here. This is the highlight of my day as well. It's so great to be able to start my day with you all like this. I'm very, very happy to be here. It's been really good for me. Really, the pre-work coffee hour and then even doing this chatting thing for the last few weeks we've been doing has been the highlight of 2024 so far. And we're only in January. There's only going up. Speaking of reading, I definitely recommend the Padawan book. It's a lighter read than the High Republic books. I really need to read that second High Republic book. The first one was so good. It was so good. I finished it so quick. And that just tells me I can do it. I can read. I can do it when I'm interested in it, you know? But we'll talk more about Febookuary as we get a little bit closer. If you have book recommendations, throw them in the Discord. I want to do one that's kind of like this, that's like parenting book. I want to do one that's for like fun. And I might even do a third one. Not that I'm going to finish all those books in February, but I might do a third one that's more like self-improvement. So if you have anything like that that's not entirely hocus pocus cringe by guys who sell crypto, I would love to see those. If you have some real, like, you know, preferably from people who with credentials, I would love to see them. Okay. I got to get to work, so I'm going to send you over to Lutz McGoots, who is live. Whoa, sorry about that. He is live. Let's get this queued up. Clocktober, we just buy a load of clocks. Yes, I will be live tomorrow morning, AMs. I don't know what I'm building, so I'll work on that today, but we'll be doing something Lego related tomorrow. I've been having so much fun with the Lego stream. So if you're seeing this either later in the day on Friday on Twitch or even on YouTube, hi YouTube, I will be live at 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday, the 20th. So if you want to join us for that, that would be awesome. I don't know what I'm doing just yet, but I'll figure something out today. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. That's not the button I meant to push. I meant to push this one. But there you go. All right. Good. Have a great day. Have a wonderful, absolutely wonderful day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.